Move Swiftly speaker checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving your perspective on teamwork you will not get anywhere else, where we do not teach you how to rise to the occasion, teach you how to fall to your level of preparation. Woo! Solid day today, as you can sort of hear. Got my voice back from yesterday. You may or may not have recognized it, but the day before yesterday, I got caught running in the rain, had a bit of a congestion, and throat was kind of scratchy, but it's feeling better. We're back in order, deciding, making stuff, getting stuff done. All right, as far as today's Move Swiftly thought, it's possible. It's possible. I haven't decided yet, but it's possible that I'm going to do a full week of this specific topic. I just haven't decided yet, but it is something that's very important for all of you business owners to hear, or every single person that's in an authority position, whether it is business, whether it is in your personal life, parent, coach, whatever it is you are, all right, educator, whatever, all right? You got to get in the habit or understand the concept of going backwards to go forward. Hear me. Understanding the concept of moving backwards, taking a step back from what you planned on doing initially, so you can go forward with whatever you planned on doing. Let me just give you an example. In this past month, since school has started, and I'm in a brand new position as a sport and fitness director at CC, at the Center for Creative Education. And if you can recall, I had this immaculate plan, right? I have this idea, this concept to, do 4 corners, have them all say move swiftly, have them all do all sorts of things, track whatever it is that they're getting in certain activities. All sorts of things. Again, I come from the collegiate football world. I come from, coaching high school football and transitioning them into the collegiate football world. So there's a lot of complexities and a lot of details, a lot of things that go into every single workout, every single drill, every single thing we do. Not only that, but I'm also someone that has had a significant amount of time being a fitness trainer, someone that can still do it if I decide to do it. Again, by the way, that boxing training thing, we're going to sort of put it on hold for the time being as football season comes around and things get a little more hectic for me. I gotta organize my schedule a little better because the habit that I do have is stretching myself too thin, which is an issue that I'm working to this very day working at all the time to resolve. Right. So as far as how the sport and fitness classes have been going, specifically, I'm going to speak about the kindergartners, because what I decided to do this past week is I decided to go to Walmart and buy me a whistle. All right. The one thing I didn't have was a whistle. Now, this is important. It's an important concept, important understanding, because it's a very, very key purchase. I remember back when I was doing volunteer hours when I was in high school, I did it with the YMCA. I did it with the YMCA. If I'm not mistaken, I think I did a little bit of it after I graduated from high school as well. After I graduated college, I did some stuff with the YMCA. Anyway, I was working with this volunteer coach. His name is escaping me at the moment. But he was working with the, elementary school age kids, youth age kids, that just practicing, getting them running around, getting them doing certain drills and stuff like that. And one of the things that he had mentioned to all the kids, right? He goes, look, you guys don't hear the sound of my voice. When you hear this whistle, whoo, then you guys stop or you guys go, right? So he got them in the habit of simply listening to a whistle so you can get their attention. Now, all the things that I was trying to do with the kindergartners and stuff like that, all that stuff, because I'm around them probably the most of all, and I work with all the grades, but I'm probably around the kindergartners the most, just as it pertains right now. Again, I'm very flexible. I can go from kindergarten all the way to college age kids. That's just the skill set and what I've decided I wanted to do in terms of, making myself more valuable in the education space in itself. But when it comes to the kindergartners, I just had them line up one cone to the next, and I just blew the whistle, and they were just to run to the other cone. That was it. Right? And over that 30-minute period, you saw how they started listening better. They just got to their cone, got back, got to their cone, got back, and they learned to start and stop on the whistle. They're starting and stopping, teaching these basic concepts. So when there's more complex drills and more complex things I could teach them, then they would have a foundation of, hey, that whistle starts me, and that whistle starts me, and that whistle stops me, and then I can explain whatever new thing that needs to be explained. That's what I mean when I say, hey, going backwards so you can go forward, all right? Mm-hmm. And many times, a lot of you business owners don't want to do that because you think, okay, just because I'm going backwards now, I'm going to be, the progress that I've made is going to be derailed or whatever it is. No, that's not the case. It's actually the opposite. Going backwards means you could say to set the foundation so people learn what needs to be learned, mm-hmm. and then you can go forward, all right? So all that being said, the main website to check out to dive deeper into all the work I'm doing, it's makeyourmove.com. That's MakeYamove.com.
MLVE.com, one-stop shop for all your teamwork and your self-development needs. Great Thursday to you folks. As you guys just heard, my voice is back. Again, yesterday, a little scratchy, but you may or may not been able to tell because I have the mindset, I have the mentality of, look, we don't got time for the damn excuses around here. Excuses don't work in this world. You made the commitment to get some shit done, get the shit done. Period, point blank. That is the world that we come from. So welcome back to another Thursday, a recap episode. What we're going to be doing today, as we do every single Thursday, we're going to just go back again. What I actually started doing just this past Monday is making sure there's some video that is played before I start talking now, because it's important that we go back to go forward. I just literally right before I turned the camera on for this specific record, for this specific show, I just finished all my articles for next week, and it's going to be a lot of some similar rhetoric. We're going to get a little more detailed in terms of how you actually need to go. You need to develop the habit of going backwards so you can move forward. So like I just mentioned, as I was teaching those kindergartners, a lot of complex fitness tactics, a lot of things that I could do from a fitness and a sports standpoint were there in my head, but I had to go backward to just get them in the habit of listening to a whistle. That's it. Like literally, you would think that's not a big deal, but just listening to a damn whistle is actually progress in the right direction. Go backwards so you can move forward. Again, it's possible. I'm like 99% sure right now in my head, just based on the way that flowed, 99% sure that at some point I'll be making that concept a theme. All right. So first and foremost, let me introduce myself to anybody that is new to this world, new to this channel, new to what I'm all about. My name is Aswan Crookshank. I'm your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, former Division I college football player, and current 5-time, soon to be 6-time published author and educator. What I do, I create this whole brand, this whole concept, this whole way of life, this whole mindset. It's all about taking the innovative teamwork lessons that you learn on the football field and aligning them and applying them to businesses and business owners so they have a staff and a group of a staff and or a group of employees that moves as efficiently, as cohesively, and has the same strength, the same structure, the same hunger to them as a championship high school or youth football team. That is what we do over here in the Move Swiftly. We're plain and simple. Let's get through a few announcements, and then I'm going to do our recap episode as we do every single week over here on the Move Swiftly platform. First and foremost, business owners, as you just heard, we're here to serve you, here to help you, here to make it so you don't have the problem of employee retention rates. Employee retention rates are higher, so you're not constantly replacing people. All right. First thing you need to do is go to freeguide.makeyourmove.com. That is freeguide.makeyourmove.com. There's a very simple formula that we work from here. It's establishing measurables, mixing that with a professional distance, and allowing those two things to lead to a productive environment. I created a 10-step process that you can start utilizing right now to get the ball rolling in your business, get the ball rolling so you can, solve some of those issues. All right. Next thing, college football is back. Oh man, it's the airliner. It is here. We are back, folks. And there's so many of that right there actually is an image of me this past year. I drove out to Atlanta to the College Football Hall of Fame for my birthday this past year. And, it was like, a week or 2 weeks before they probably at this point have already done it, but I was still I'm a Michigan fan. So I'm a Michigan football fan, and I was still basking in my glory as a Michigan fan. So they had the national championship display with the Michigan colors on, that maize and blue, with the trophy right there, all set at the College Football Hall of Fame. And it's great. It was a great time, a really rewarding feeling. Unfortunately, now they're going to definitely going to be putting an Ohio State one there and all that. So I'm not sure if I'll be visiting. I won't be visiting it this year. But anyway, all that being said, this year I'm actually going to be hosting a college football show every Saturday. We're going to be starting that up, not this week, but next week, to break down the Ohio State and Texas game. Join us for that conversation. Join us. Enjoy the game. It's going to be at a Duffy's. Let me put it on the screen real quick. It's going to be at the Duffy's in North Palm Beach, 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. We're going to just kind of be chatting, talking college football and watching and enjoying the game and stuff like that. There's be something called a weekly scenario, which every single week, whatever that coach is going through, whatever's happening in the college football world, you're going to see me aligning those things with what you business owners are going through, and you'll see the parallels. You see how when you understand the game and understand the complexities of the game and how it's really all about decision making, strong decision makers, and people that are strong leaders, you will start to see your business decisions improve and things like that. So that's my role. That's my role in life, is drawing those connections, making those connections between the business world and the football world. All right. And finally, our favorite people to work with around here. It's the people that are saying to themselves, bump all that free stuff. Tell me who I got to pay. How do I got to pay? And where's the payment structure and all that kind of stuff? We got something for you guys as well. Always available for you guys. All right. Go to makeyourmove.com. Just hit that shop now button. You could see where the employee development workshops are, the boxing lessons. You could purchase a couple copies of the book. All that stuff is available on makeyourmove.com. Turn your business into a championship team. It is common knowledge that the best way to win in business or in life is by avoiding ways to lose. Whether you've just started a new business or you've been in business for quite some time, there's no getting around the need to hire or outsource certain elements of your organization so things can run as efficiently as possible. When you book your meeting with Aswan, he'll diagnose what the issues are with your current system and then strategically create a system in which will lead to a reduced amount of turnover or a clear understanding of the parts of your business that need to be outsourced. All right. Let me log this for a second. Let's pull up the articles now throughout the week. All right. So Thursday recap, folks. Thursday recap. We've been talking all week about confidence. All right. Confidence and what it pertains to. What exactly is it? And I'm going to pull up the articles now so you guys have an understanding of everything that we discussed all week. Yes, but more so the kind of the big takeaway and the main thing that we got to take away. The main thing that we got to take away from today is that confidence, like you see right there, is actually built. All right. It's built on a certain set of principles. It's built on a willingness to do the work. It's built on there's a mindset that somebody has every single day that you can develop. I've developed it. Every single human being out there, if you are blessed enough to see that sunrise, if you're blessed enough to see another day, you can develop the mindset. It's the mindset piece that you're able to develop to say every single day, I will do what it takes. I'll do whatever it takes to get to where it is I'm trying to go. And I'll do it in small ways. I'll do it in something I could be doing. But the thing is, it has to be every single day. So on Monday, what I discussed a couple things. There's a couple things I discussed. Number one, as you can see, the legends, man, the legends. The guy that was a kid, man, born and raised in Maryland, the Silver Spring, Maryland, the DMV. When I saw Michael Phelps and Ray Lewis give a speech, when I saw Michael Phelps and the legendary Ray Lewis, the greatest football player of all time, in my opinion. And the only reason I'll say that Michael Phelps is the second greatest Olympian is because I'm Caribbean. So I gotta give the nod to Usain Bolt as the greatest Olympian of all time. But I'd say Usain Bolt is 1, and then 1A. 1A is probably Michael Phelps. So 1A, 1B. It's because Michael Phelps is from Maryland. I gotta put him in that greatest Olympian conversation. Now, again, Usain Bolt's Caribbean, and my background, the ethnicity, the heritage. I come from a Caribbean household, but I'm born and raised in Maryland. So you give me, throw one up in terms of the greatest Olympian of all time. It's either Michael Phelps or Usain Bolt, right? One of the two. You know what I'm saying? One of the two I'm good with. But anyway, Michael Phelps and Ray Lewis give a speech to the Baltimore Ravens, the current Baltimore Ravens, and I was moved because I just took a trip back home to Maryland, and I was moved at the speech, and seeing that I was going to be talking, I know a week before what I'm going to be talking about the next week. So because I was going to be talking about confidence, those two, I was like, okay. The chest started poking out a little bit, and I was ready to roll. So anyway, when it comes to confidence, it's public. All right, it's public. Eventually, people will see how confident a person is in you, how confident you are in yourself, how much you can actually build, and they feel it on you. There's no getting around it. See, there's a fear. There's the number one fear, I believe, is of among people. There's death, and then there's public speaking, like right underneath death. So when it comes to the word just public in general, eventually folks are going to feel and sense your ability to do whatever it is you're going to do. So you can't avoid having confidence and not having confidence. Either you got it or you don't. Period, point blank, end of sentence. There's no avoiding it. It's public for everyone to see. And I use the example again, even though, you just saw me kind of praise some of the Ravens people. I grew up a diehard Washington Redskins fan, or now the Washington Commanders, which there's talk of bringing it back. Commanders, the name doesn't really, I've spoken to several, myself included, several fans that I like the honoring the military, but the name Commanders doesn't really, it doesn't. And maybe it just takes some getting used to, because we're used to, watch the Redskins. So anyway, another conversation for another day. Being a Redskins fan, we had a quarterback back in that was supposed to save our franchise. It was supposed to turn around our franchise. His name was Jason Campbell. All right. So Jason Campbell was the guy. He was supposed to be the guy. And there was a play, and it's right there in the article. You guys can go subscribe to my Medium articles to read this directly. But there was a play, and I played football. I went to school in Stony Brook University. So it was in New York, and there's a ton of Giants fans and all that kind of stuff. So I was watching a game. It was the first game. It was the first game of the season. The first game of this season, too. We're going to be playing the Giants. Yeah, we're actually going to be playing the Giants first game of the season this year, too. And is that there was a game against the Giants in which we were backed up. The Redskins were backed up in our own goal line. And not because all off season there was a bunch of talk about this is Jason Campbell's year. It's either he's gonna show up or shut up, right? He's gonna put up or shut up. It's a common phrase in the football world. So put up or shut up. Put up or shut up. Right? Put up or shut up. But that phrase took me back to the football world. I need to come back now. So come back with him. Right, so anyway, it's like put up or shut up, baby. Put up or shut up. God, I love this stuff. Anyway, we're backed up at our own goal line, and here it is, the back of our own goal line. It's 3rd and long, and the announcer says, "Hey, we're gonna see the kind of confidence that the coaching staff has in Jason Campbell right now." And what they do is they call a run play, and they don't put the ball in the air. And it got played and said what nothing needed to be said by the announcers. There it is. They don't have confidence in that quarterback. Whatever they're seeing on a day-to-day basis made it so they're not depending on him. They're not going to him on 3rd and long situations where you're backed up on the goal line. That was the main takeaway from Monday. The question was, what is confidence? And then as we answered it, you have to understand that it is a public thing. It's a public thing that's going to come out one way or the other. It will come out. So confidence is public. All right. Then we got into Top 5 Tuesday. Because what we see a lot of times is we see confidence. We see cockiness that's being called confidence. All right. And you have to understand how to go in the direction of confidence, because cockiness is it's a very, very easy road to go down. All right. So it's like you got two roads. You got one going here, one going here, but kind of a way of veering off. Right. Let's say you're going down the Beltway or the highway, whatever it is, and you got one road. This is the confidence road. You're staying focused. You're good. Boom. Kind of doing the work, doing whatever you have to do. But then you got that one road of cockiness where you're feeling the same things, like you're in the same direction. You're moving in the same direction as a confident person, but then there's that little veer, right? There's that little veer before you go. There's that little veer, and then next thing you know, you're all the way here, while the confident person is going there, and then you end up going somewhere. Ain't nobody know what the hell you're doing, right? That's the difference. Cockiness and confidence can feel the same in certain elements, but there's a specific process towards becoming more of a confident individual. That's what we talked about on Tuesday. We laid out step by step process on how to become more confident. Number one was what? You got to be willing to do the work. All right, plain and simple. See, cocky people, here's the first detector right here. The very first thing you're going to hear from someone who is moving in the direction of a cocky person is whenever it comes time to do the damn work, the difficult work, they're not willing to do it. There's some damn excuse. There's some justification. Somebody didn't do this. This person didn't do that. That person didn't do whatever it is. There's always something. There's always something with a person who is who is moving in a direction of being a cocky individual and not a confident individual. So number one, we're not going to put too much energy on those folks today. We're going to focus on the confident people. Number one, you have to be willing to do the work. Do the work. Do the work. Did I say it enough? Do the damn work. Do it. All right. Now, again, like myself and everyone included, yes, you may be willing to do the work, but it's the wrong work. I use myself as an example. It's very easy. Listen, if you're willing to do the work, you're not going to necessarily have the time to ask who to talk to or know this expert or know this person. No, you're just going to put your head down and grind, which is what I was talking about on Tuesday, because I used myself as an example. Like as a player, I was one of those players that was worked very hard and had the effort and toughness and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't have the natural speed and the athleticism. So what I did every night is I would run 10 sprints up the hill I lived on, run 10 hill sprints every single day. Now, granted, that's good that I'm doing the work, but it wasn't the correct work. The correct work was going and doing cross training in other sports like boxing, track, basketball, lacrosse, whatever it is, anything to develop my ability to develop as an athlete. You understand? The knock on me was my athleticism and the things I couldn't do. So I should have went and did other sports, whether it's soccer, didn't matter. Just something I should have stuck without football. My career would have lasted a whole lot longer had I done that. That is what we do as thought leaders. That is what we're always going to be about as folks who own intellectual property and content creators. Is we're gonna tell you the things that we should have done, because we are, again, put myself in that category. We're willing to do it every single day. We want to teach you what the correct work is, but it's only going to go to a person who's willing to do the work. So that was number 1 and 2. Willing to do the work, but then knowing the correct work. Number 3, it's ignoring those logical thinkers that they're so good at excuses. They're so good at what they do. They really are. You got to be careful from them, because they're going to make very rational and logical justifications as to why they're hating, why they're in this. They're going to do everything in their power, and they're smart people. Read that right. Tune out the logical thinkers known as naysayers. They mean well. And I'm telling you this because a lot of these folks do mean well. But the truth is, they're placing their own limitations on you. And the more company they get around, the more company they have around the kind of the justification and the verification of their bullshit, then they just grow and grow and grow in that direction. Again, it's like the example I was showing you. Confident person, cocky person is varying and varying and varying and varying. And you hear it in their language. You hear it in what they say every day. You hear it in the way they approach their jobs. You hear it in what they complain about. You hear it in how they blame this one. You hear it all the time. And you hear it in subtle ways. You just got to ignore that shit. I'm telling you right now, ignore it. Ignore it the best way you can. It's not easy. It's something I struggle with to this very day. My girl sometimes, listen, she needs to give me a wake up call at times. Like, come on, man, you got other priorities than to be worried about logical naysayers and people that are getting you off what it is you're trying to do and what we're trying to build. So I appreciate her very much for that. It's not just her. My mother does a fantastic job at that as well. Next thing was personal results. Now, you have to figure out what are the results, what are the things that you want to do, right? What are the things you want to do? And are you seeing your own data? Are you going out and getting those personal wins, so you can say, all right, I accomplished that thing. And then you're more confident as you go about doing whatever it is you're trying to do, because you don't need validation from anybody else but yourself. But if you don't have it in your head what your measurables are, what some measurable is, then you will lose. Again, the day I did this, it was actually the day in which I did end up getting caught in the rain during one of my runs. But again, the mindset was, hey, I have 8 miles to do. I don't give a damn how hard it's raining, right? I have 8 miles to do. I'm going to get the damn 8 miles done. Period. Point blank. End of sentence. Get the 8 miles done. And then finally doing 1 through 4, get ready. You're ready now. You got to be ready right now, whenever the opportunity. You don't know what tomorrow brings. You can't predict the future. You can't predict what's going to happen 5 minutes from right now. So right now, you better be ready for whatever is going to be happening. All right. Ready the best you can. You can never be fully prepared, obviously, but be ready in regards to the best way you can. So that was Tuesday. Again, go read it. We went in on that. And finally, Wintrepreneur Wednesday, just Wednesday, we talked about now paying it forward, right? Paying it forward to the teens, all right, teaching teens how to be confident and not cocky. And we called out specifically teens for the simple fact that when you become a teenager, a lot of these things start really, really affecting you. They start really, really creating a problem, because as a teen now, there's a good chance that you're now sexually active, right? You're starting to grow hair. You're starting to develop a vision for your life. You're starting to develop you're really fully in your personality. Your group of friends is either uplifting you, it's either adding to your life, or they're subtracting. You're making decisions, adult decisions now, and you could easily be moving in a direction of cockiness, all right, of cockiness. So since we're running low on time, I'll just kind of re-emphasize the story that I told you guys yesterday. Is when I coached high school football, we had a great strength coach, cancer survivor. His name was Coach Phil Tran, who used to be up in the stands watching the games and stuff like that. So there was a game we were playing Walkersville. The name of the team was Walkersville, and it's a tight match. We're like tied up going into halftime or midway through the third quarter, still tied up or whatever it is. And Coach Tran came down. We lost the game in a blowout, right? We lost. They ended up blowing us out. So Coach Tran came down at the end of the game, and he gave a very brutally honest. And that's what you need when you're talking about teams. You need brutal honesty, and you need to talk to them as if they're adults now. Treat them like men and women, as adults. That's the thing about teams. You got to start talking. If you want them to be confident, you need to start telling them straight up what it is, what it looks like. You don't need to sugarcoat shit. Keep it all the way funky with him, man. So anyway, Coach Tran comes down and he looks all of the players in the eye, and he goes, look, man, I was up in the stand. I was up in the booth listening to the other coaches, and they weren't scared of you. They were not scared of you. Yes, it was tied up, but they had no doubts in their mind that they were going to end up blowing you guys out. He told him, he goes, you know what they said about you all? They said that they're lazy and they're undisciplined. The same things that we yell at you guys at practice about, the same things that we tell you every single day, lazy and undisciplined. And he puts his hands out like this. It's clear. Everyone to see. Everyone watching the game can see that team that was in black is just lazy and they're undisciplined. They're lucky to still be in the game. And it kind of wrapped up my entire point about confidence being something that is clear for everyone to see. It's clear for the world to see, basically, when you start presenting yourself. And remember this. I'll close out this entire week's long conversation about confidence. You do not get a second chance to make a first impression. Say it to him, man. Ding, 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 ding. You do not get a second chance to make a first impression. So when you make your first impression with folks, it's got to be structured. It's got to be confident. It's got to be, I got it in my mind. This is what I'm about, because you got to be moving in your truth. If you're not, it's going to be clear. And you may not get a second, you may not get an opportunity to make an impression on whoever it is you're trying to make an impression of. So you can't have this mentality of, I'm going to jump in and out of personalities when this one walks in the room and when that one walks. That's bullshit. You got to have You got to have it in you to where you like this every single day. Every single day. Got it? So again, Thursday recap episode. I keep it at 30 minutes because as I get going, I start, I start word vomiting and stuff like that. But throughout this week, just go back throughout the week. We discussed all of these things. And again, main website to check out to dive deeper into all of this. If you want more of this, it's makeyourmove.com. That's MakeYamove.com. One-stop shop for all your teamwork and your self-development needs. As one, Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker. Check it out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon. Excuse me. Oof.